Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be a quick unboxing for the Curtis Tomahawk IIB 172 starter set from Airfix. Now this, along with this Cromwell Mark IV tank, I picked up from my local Aldi store for $6.99 each, which is probably a reasonable price. Looking at the box, obviously you get some nice artwork on the front. Tells you what's included down the side. You get 4 paints with this one, paintbrush and some glue. Warnings, the ends look like that, and on this side you just get a little bit of blurb about the P40 Tomahawk. Let's crack it open, and straight off, obviously you've got your instructions, you've got the kit and the paint and glue. So if we look at the paint, so we have 29, which I think is just I think Humbrol just say that's a flat earth. Obviously 33, which is black, and then there's 93, which I think is it's either sand or desert yellow. I can't remember how they marked it. And then obviously 157 I've not come across before, I don't think. But that looks like quite a mid blue, sky blue sort of thing. So you get, there's your 4 pots. You get the poly cement, which I don't rate and will, to be honest, be going in the bin. And then the Humbrol Airfix starter brush. Now these aren't too bad for, you know, block painting. So if you've got a few bits and pieces, or if you've got a large surface area, then they're really handy for that. And that's generally what I tend to use them for. The brush tip isn't too bad. Right, let's put that aside. Destructions. Oh, we get quite a selection of decals here. Right. So, Curtis Tomahawk. As with most scale model kits, you do get a little bit of blurb about the vehicle aircraft itself. Then we're into various multilingual warnings and keys for like the assembly icon instructions. And then we're into the destructions proper. Right, so this is with gluing the 2 halves of the fuselage together, and then we're sticking in the prop, the engine cooler air intake underneath, and then, oh, in fact no, that's actually the cockpit tub floor. Okay, that's that. So this here that I thought might have been the engine air intake is actually the cockpit tub floor. So your seat and control panel bulkhead will go onto that. We then have the the underside mono wing, and you need to place the top wing halves on. And then we're coming into further detail. So we've got some detail for part of the engine cowling here on the underside. The engine cowling on the top side going on behind the prop. Wheel bay doors, I want to say. Yeah, they look like wheel bay doors. and then the rear tailplane and aileron surfaces. So if you've done your doors open, your props will go in, not props, your landing struts will go in, and the rear wheel is retractable, so you are either going to model it with the special piece which shows the doors open and the wheel out, or if it's in flight with the tail wheel doors closed, which is quite nice. Then if you are having undercarriage down, you've got weighted wheels, which is nice. I do like the weighted wheels. Previously you didn't used to get that in model kits so much. And then we're chucking in some final detail for the cockpit in the form of, I assume, a cushioned pad or something behind the pilot's head, and then the glass panels for the cockpit canopy, airspeed indicator, one of the I assume a formation light cover, and the exhausts for the engine cowling there. And there you go, that's the instructions, so fairly straightforward. Decal wise, so we've only got one as per the colour plate on the back of the box. We've only got one, and that is flown by Pilot Officer Neville Duke, number 112 Squadron, Fort Madalena in Libya, 1941. Now, during the African campaign, the Tomahawks, the P-40s, were used quite a lot during that campaign. I don't know whether it's because they dealt better with the desert environment and all the dust and sand compared to other airframes, or whether it was literally a case of the mainstay of the Royal Air Force at the time, the Hurricanes and the Spitfires, predominantly being kept for UK home defence. But yeah, these were, I mean, along with some Spits and some Hurricanes, these were quite prolific during the African campaign, etc. But we've got a control panel here for the instruments, and your tail numbers and the roundels. And we have, which was rather ubiquitous for this aircraft, the shark's teeth and a couple of eyes to go on as well. Right, let's have a look at the plastic. So it looks like we get 3 sprues. We get 2 of the grey blue, pale grey blue plastic, and then a clear sprue, which has our formation light cover and the canopy glass, and that's really nice and crisp. So hopefully getting some tape on that to mask up isn't going to be too much of an issue. Okay, so let's have a look at the fuselage first. I hope you can see we've got recessed panel lines throughout, and where necessary, like here for the canopy roller, for when the canopy is pulled back, that's obviously raised detail, but plenty of detail panel lining, etc. Here's our air intake here underneath the fuselage, which goes at the nose. And then this is our cockpit floor. So you can see the cockpit floor there. There's obviously moulded on some detail, which I'm assuming is going to be the pedals for flight controls. So just be aware that there are some pieces on the fuselage, like this antenna pole sticking up. Okay, so just be aware that they may be quite fragile when handling. But yeah, I'm liking the detail on that. Rivet detail around the engine cowling looks good. Swap over and we'll have a look at the wings. And again, we've got gun barrels protruding from the wingtips. So again, just be aware that they may be a little bit delicate in handling, etc. So you get two sets of wheels. So you get this set here for in-flight. They will just pop into the wing. And then on the fuselage set, we get our weighted ones that you will use for this particular aircraft being on the ground. And these are slotted. So in theory, because they're slotted, you shouldn't have any trouble getting them in the right position, because these are slotted tabs here on the landing struts. So they should literally just go into position and then they're in position. That's it. There's no messing about with trying to rotate them to the right position. So that's nice. Yeah, and then obviously we've just got, this is literally mostly the wing. We've got the top of the engine cowling here, I think. Is that the top of the engine cowling? I think that's the top of the engine cowling. Just there for the front. The pilot seat. Pilot is fairly standard fare. It's just nicely crisp detailed, and you know, once you've painted your pilot and you've given him a dark wash to bring out the detail, he should look pretty good. And then your exhaust ports, and that's the joystick there by the look of it. So yeah, nice little kit. I don't know when this was produced. But I will get this built at some point. I've got my Chinook I need to finish first. So I need to do a paint video for the Tiger, and then I need to do a finish the build video for the Chinook. And there you go, that is the Curtis Tomahawk P40 starter set from Airfix. Right, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Alright, take care, bye bye.